A very good morning. It's just past 8 this 20th September morning and we're back again with Breakfast Show. I'm Anil Thomas and over the next 1 hour we'll take you through the major happenings across India and the globe from the field of politics, business and sports. Also our regular segments on health and good news India story. Our top focus over the day, Pakistan failing to get the numbers and left red-faced at the UNHRC. That's not all. Prime Minister Narendra Modi with a power-packed schedule to leave for the United States of America tonight, and the Indian wrestlers booking 2 quota places for the Tokyo Olympics. We'll also be getting live inputs from our team of correspondents on the various angles to the top stories. But first up, this Friday morning, the headlines we are tracking at the top of this hour. Major embarrassment for Pakistan at the UNHRC over Kashmir. Despite claiming the support of 50 countries, Pakistan fails to muster support to push a resolution on Kashmir. Addressing media in New York on India's agenda in the upcoming United Nations General Assembly, India's envoy says the entire world is with India on J&K and Pakistan would face major embarrassment if it raises it in UNGA. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to depart for the United States visit today. He will be in the US from the 21st to the 27th. Will take part in the Howdy Modi event at Houston along with US President Donald Trump on the 22nd of September. Will also address the UNGA on September 27th. President of Mongolia is on a visit to India, will jointly unveil the Buddha statue with Prime Minister Modi through video conferencing in the Mongolian capital. Will also meet President Ramnath Kovind and Vice President, signing an exchange of agreements on the card. Public sector banks to organize special camps in 400 districts from next week for retail credit. Government also decides not to declare stress loans of MSMEs as NPAs till 31st of March next year. In international news, United States says it is building a coalition to deter Iranian threats following a weekend attack on Saudi Arabian oil facilities. Iran has warned the US, saying it would meet any offensive action with a crushing response. And in sports, 2 more Indian wrestlers booked their 2020 Tokyo Olympic ticket. Bajrang Punia seals the Olympic berth in the 65 kg category, while Ravi Kumar books the quota from the 57 kg weight category. And now for the stories in detail. Pakistan has faced a major embarrassment over its stand on Jammu and Kashmir. Its attempt at pushing through a resolution in the UNHRC against India with regards to alleged human rights violation in Kashmir fell flat, with Pakistan not getting the support of even one country. This came even when Pakistan had claimed the support of more than 50 countries, badly exposing Pakistan's isolation in international community. India's first secretary in the permanent mission at the UNHRC, Kumam Devi, lashed out at Pakistan over its human rights record. She said all the decisions of India on Jammu and Kashmir are totally internal issues and Pakistan is trying to misrepresent the fact. She also said that Pakistan has a dismal record of human rights against its own people of Balochistan, Sindh and its occupied Kashmir.
We deplored repeated misuse of the Council by Pakistan with fabricated narratives against India. Our decision in Jammu and Kashmir is within our sovereign right and is an internal matter of India. None of Pakistan's attempts to misrepresent our decision under different agendas can hide its territorial ambitions over Jammu and Kashmir. Pakistan's frantic reactions could be well understood as our decision is creating obstacles in Pakistan's continuous sponsorship of cross-border terrorism against India.
India's permanent representative to the United Nations, Syed Akbaruddin, addressed the media in New York. He gave important information about the agenda of the UNGA and Prime Minister's address at the United Nations General Assembly. He said that India's stand on Jammu and Kashmir is very clear. Entire world is with India on this issue, and Pakistan would face major embarrassment if it raises the issue.
It is for every country to determine its trajectory of how it wants to approach global platforms. There may be some who stoop low. Our response to them is we soar high. They may stoop low, we soar high. And what I've told you are examples of how we will soar higher. What they want to do is they call, we've seen them mainstream terrorism in the past, and what you're now telling me is they may want to mainstream hate speech. It's their call. If they want to do that, poison pens don't work for too long. We are confident that we will soar. We've given you examples of how we will not stoop. We will soar when they stoop low.
India would also stress on joint efforts to fight against terrorism at global level.
You are aware that Prime Minister has made a call for an international conference to counter terrorism. He will, of course, make that pitch. These efforts that you're taking, you're mentioning, require build-up. You've seen the efforts that we are trying to work on within the context of what are the broad themes at the GA. That does not exclude us from addressing some very serious challenges, and those challenges include terrorism. That will always be a theme in India's external orientation, because our people have suffered enough, and we would like the international community to act in unison to address these issues.
Akbaruddin also gave details about the major issues to be highlighted at the United Nations General Assembly.
The main meetings: climate action, number 1. Number 2, health. Number 3, SDG implementation. Number 4, financing for development. Number 5, the Samoa pathway for small island developing states. These are the 5 big things that the UN has, by consensus, agreed to be the focus of this year's General Assembly session. Each of these themes has for us a importance not only as a foreign policy issue, but as an issue that we can learn as well as explain in terms of our domestic priorities.
Pakistan, meanwhile, initiated unprovoked ceasefire violation by firing of small arms and shelling with mortars in Shahpur and Kerni sectors in the district of Poonch of Jammu and Kashmir at about 20:00 hours on Thursday. Indian Army is retaliating befittingly. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will embark on a 7-day visit to the United States tonight. During his visit, PM will be in Houston and New York, and will also address the United Nations General Assembly on the 27th of this month. This will be the first time the Prime Minister will address the General Assembly in the high-level segment after 2014. Briefing reporters in New Delhi, Foreign Secretary Vijay Gokhale said the Prime Minister will address the Indian community on the 22nd of this month, and President Trump will also be there.
This is the Prime Minister's first visit to the United States after the re-election of the government, and the Prime Minister is going to the UN General Assembly with solid achievements in the previous 5 years in sustainable development goals. Our intention, therefore, in participating this year in all the plurilaterals is to showcase the progress that we have made in issues relating to climate change, universal health coverage, renewable energy, sanitation, and so on, as well as I said, to convey expectations from the other countries and to understand their aspirations in this regard. Prime Minister is also of the view that it is important to play the role that is expected of India in shaping the global agenda on many of these issues, both political and socio-economic. And in this context, the Prime Minister will again reiterate a position that India has been saying for some time, and that is multilateralism is at the center of global politics. It should remain so, but there has to be a reformed multilateralism.
Foreign Secretary said that the trade issue will figure in the talks of Prime Minister Modi and President Trump. He said that India expects positive movement as far as trade is concerned.
You are aware that during the last meeting in Osaka, the two leaders discussed several issues, including trade issues, and this is one of the issues where we feel forward movement should be taken, which is mutually balanced and which addresses the concerns of both sides. I have no doubt it will figure in their discussions, but as to the eventual outcome, that is something we will have to wait for.
On the 24th of September, India will organize an event to commemorate the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi in the United Nations. This event is titled Leadership Matters, Relevance of Gandhi in Contemporary Times. Foreign Secretary informed that Gandhi Solar Park, which is the installation of solar panels on the rooftops of UN headquarters in New York, will also be launched on this occasion. During the visit, Prime Minister will also be honored with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation Global Goalkeepers Award for his leadership in the field of sanitation through Swachh Bharat Abhiyan.
By the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Global Goalkeepers Goal Award. This is at the Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts. It is given every year to a world leader for achievement in a specific SDG, Sustainable Development Goal, and the previous winners have been Prime Minister Solberg of Norway and President Sirleaf Johnson of Liberia. And this year, the Gates Foundation is honoring the Prime Minister for his leadership in the field of sanitation through the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan.
There is a huge enthusiasm in America on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's forthcoming visit to the United States. Not only the Indian community, but the people of the United States are also excited about the Prime Minister's visit. DD News got hold of one such American fan of Prime Minister Modi in New Delhi.
I'm the biggest fan of Modi, and people of India really admire him so much, all his hard work and dedication and commitment, and that has transcended globally, and now people see his hard work and all his accomplishments and achievements that he's done in India, and his communication and negotiation skills with other countries. So people are really admiring him. He's touching people's hearts, not only in India, but around the world.
But for more inputs on that particular story on the Prime Minister's visit to the United Nations, Shubhendu, our correspondent, joins us from Houston this morning. Good morning, Shubhendu. Shubhendu, how is Houston gearing up to welcome Prime Minister Modi for the Howdy Modi event?
Anil, good morning for you. Good morning to you. In fact, for us, it's nearly night time. There's a 10.5-hour time difference, but there is a palpable excitement in the air, as you mentioned earlier. 22nd is when Prime Minister is going to be addressing the Indian American community members at NRG Stadium. Nearly 50,000 community diaspora members are going to be attending this event. It's a mega event. It's the third time that Prime Minister is directly connecting with the Indian diaspora in the United States, but of this scale is something that hasn't happened earlier. So there is a lot of anticipation on that, and of course it is doubled by the fact that this time US President Donald Trump will also be sharing the stage with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So the excitement has really become doubled with the coming together of two world leaders on the same stage.
Shubhendu, purely looking at what the Prime Minister said, the Prime Minister said, share your ideas for my address there at Houston there. He's asked people to, write on the Namo app on, the ideas that they want to share. That could be a part of his address. Are the people in Houston too, sending in their ideas, dropping in their ideas on Namo app that the Prime Minister should look into?
Well, they certainly are doing that, but they're more excited to, in fact, see him in person. So there's been a huge excitement, huge anticipation of people to be a part of that event at the NRG Stadium, where they can see Prime Minister and President Trump together. Although the seats are all sold out It's a completely packed house already for people coming from nearly all the states. Nearly 48 states people are recording their presence from at the stadium. But yes, ideas are also being shared on the Namo app. Prime Minister, it's been his habit to connect with the people while he talks about the diaspora, their achievement, their legacy. Like his style that it has always been, he takes suggestions from the people so that the connection with the masses, connection with their issues, connection with their expectations is better.
Also considering the fact that, roughly 50,000 Indian Americans are going to be there for the Howdy Modi event. Having said that, what do you see the significance behind Trump coming, as a special guest to this particular event where Modi is speaking?
Oh, it's an absolutely important moment, Anil. We have to see that at different levels. It sees a high between the personal rapport of both the leaders. Time and again, they've appreciated and commented and complimented their governance styles and decision making. So this was not a program that was fixed from long back. This was made recently, and the initiative was taken by President Donald Trump. So from that perspective, it's an important high in an already positive existing relationship between the two leaders, the personal rapport that they share. Also, it says a lot about the sort of significance that India-US ties have attained in the recent times, not just strategic ties, but also people-to-people connect. This particular event, Howdy Modi, is going to reflect upon the key achievement, legacy of the Indian diaspora, of the Indian American contribution to the progress, development of the United States, of the US-India relations, and presence of US President on an event like this also speaks volume about the sort of significance and importance that the Indian diaspora, along with Indian Prime Minister, of course, have attained in the eyes of America.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you and appreciate you joining us. You've got a busy week ahead. Keep yourself healthy, and we'll come back to you for more inputs on that particular story on the Prime Minister's visit to the United States of America. Staying with our correspondent there, our correspondent Shubhendu Ghosh had an exclusive conversation with the spokesperson of Texas India Forum, which is hosting the entire event. Let's take a look.
There is much anticipation around Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the US and the mega Howdy Modi program in Houston. Texas India Forum is organizing this mega event. I have with me spokesperson of Texas India Forum, Mr. Gitesh Desai. Sir, tell us about this choice of venue, and how did you think of Howdy Modi program?
This event is going to have 50,000 attendees from Indian American communities. This has been a program in which out-of-state people will also participate. There are 48 states of Indian American people living across the United States will be attending this event. It's a great event. It's going to be a historical event because this is the largest assembly of people for a democratically elected foreign head of state in the United States. There is no event in comparison to this that in the past history of the United States. In this program, there will be senators, congressmen, governors, mayors, and of course the United States President Donald Trump will be coming to the event.
We learnt about how it's going to be a packed hall. Over 50,000 Indian American community members are going to be present here. Give us more insight into the scale of the program. What kind of preparation is taking place? We learned there are some cultural programs also that will precede Prime Minister Modi and President Trump's address.
In this program, the theme is woven, meaning how a thread is woven to make a fabric. So how Indian Americans came to the United States and became part of America. So we are partly Indian heritage people. We are partly learning, absorbing American culture. So we are Indian, we are American. We are Americans, we are Indians.
All right, Mr. Desai, thanks very much for joining us for this conversation. Best wishes for this mega program.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President of Mongolia, Khaltama Batuga, will jointly unveil the Lord Buddha statue at the Gandhan Monastery today via video conferencing. The statue is a symbol of India-Mongolia spiritual partnership and shared Buddhist heritage. President Batuga is on a 5-day visit to India with an aim to boost bilateral ties. During the visit, Batuga will meet President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President and will hold in-depth discussions on a range of bilateral, regional and global issues with Prime Minister Modi. The two countries would review ongoing cooperation in the fields of infrastructure, energy, disaster management, defense, security, culture and capacity building. Portugal will also participate in an India-Mongolia business forum in New Delhi. Portugal's visit to India is the first state visit by a Mongolian president in the last 10 years. Moving ahead, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said public sector banks will hold meetings with NBFCs and retail borrowers in 400 districts beginning next week to provide credit to borrowers including home buyers and farmers. At a press conference after meeting PSU bank heads, Finance Minister Sitharaman said that banks have been asked not to declare any stressed MSME loans as non-performing assets till 31st of March. The idea behind holding the meeting is to ensure maximum credit dispersal during the festival season. Diwali, which falls in October this year, is considered as the biggest shopping season of the country. During the public meetings, credit will be provided for retail, agriculture, MSME and housing sector, among others. Meanwhile, Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will chair the 37th GST Council meeting in Goa today. All preparations for the event are in full swing as the state finance ministers have started gathering in the land of soft sand. Officials have told DD News that there would be major decisions on the simplification of the procedures under GST. Almost 80 items are on the agenda of the meeting. Officials of the 15th Finance Commission, which will recommend a formula for sharing the union government's divisible pool of tax revenue with states, will discuss the fiscal position of the states and the centre at the GST Council meeting. The meeting will start at 11 a.m. this morning. Well, for more inputs on that story, Ajay Mishra, correspondent tracking business for us, joins us on the phone line. Ajay, good morning. Ajay, we heard a long list of things that could be on the agenda, but what could be the big issues that could be discussed there in this particular GST Council meet?
Good morning, Thomas. There are two very important part of this 37th GST Council meet happening in Goa. First, there will be a major rationalization and simplification of the procedures. We know that the single form for GST is already being prepared by the GST network, and a presentation will be made to the GST Council about this new procedures. And there are several workshops going on throughout the country to familiarize the industry with this new filing system. So all the new procedures under the GST will be simplified going forward, and maybe from January onwards there will be just one GST form for the industry to fill up instead of 3 forms per month. That's number one. There are many items which are not gathering much revenues to the government, just like outdoor catering and hotel business, and rates on which are almost 28%. So that category might get some relief in after today's meeting. And thirdly, I think this the Finance Commission, which is a new thing, which has to submit its report by November, they will make a presentation to the GST Council. They will also get an idea how much revenue the government is expecting out of GST, so that they are in comfortable position to actually divide that money between central and state.
Also looking at, GST Council meets are generally about looking at, rate cuts. You mentioned about two sectors there, catering as well as the hotel industry. Is there any other industry that, that's looking forward with a lot of hope today at the GST Council meeting?
I understand I understand the sector that you are thinking about, Anil, at this point in time, because auto sector is very much in trouble, and there is a demand from the auto industry that there should be a GST rate cut, as most of the cars and the car accessories, barring the electrical cars, fall into 28, which is the highest GST slab category. So yes, there are demands from the Ministry of Transport. When we spoke to the Transport Minister the other day, he said that he cannot divulge the details, but yes, some relief for the auto sector is also on the cards, but we cannot say. But more importantly, at 10 o'clock, there might be some major decisions by the Finance Minister, because she is going to hold a press conference at 10 o'clock in Goa, and will try to give live inputs from there also, and there also we are expecting some major economic reforms. So it's a slew of reforms. Three different occasions of finance minister has announced economic reforms in Delhi, and then she also met the PSU banks yesterday. After that, this NBFCs and the banking system has been sensitized to give more loans to the MSME and retail sector, and now we are expecting some big announcement at 10 o'clock.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you and appreciate your joining us. The GST Council meeting today, the focus will be on revenue protection, also a big boost for the economic growth of the nation. We'll get back to you for more updates as and when the meeting begins. Moving ahead to Mumbai, where several people in Mumbai complained of a strong smell to the Mumbai Municipal Corporation. BMC in a tweet message has clarified that there is no leakage in the Rashtriya Chemicals factory. BMC also said that there was no report of any leakage from the Mahanagar gas. BMC further stated that the teams have been sent out to locate the source of any gas leak. There are no reports of any injury or casualty. Well, our correspondent Yogesh Sheetal joins us on the phone line this morning. Yogesh, how did this all begin, and what exactly, is there a pinpointed source from where this particular, rumor is generated, or was there a serious foul smell that, we saw reports from many parts of in and around Mumbai?
I just had a word with some of my friends in different areas, the area where the smell emerged, in fact, like Pawai, Ghatkopar, Jashpuri, Malad, and basically Chembur. Now, most of them are saying that they did not smell any kind of, smell. Some of them are saying that, yeah, we had such kind of smell. The thing is, we have to, it is time, but it is a matter of investigation whether it was a gas smell or it was something else, or it is just a rumor. So it will definitely, there are a lot of things that have to be investigated by not only the BMC, by not only the Mahanagar Gas Limited, but also police. This is not a rumor. But the thing is,
well, Yogesh clearly putting it there, it's all rumors, unknown gas smell. That's where the problem occurred, reported from the eastern suburbs in Mumbai. But BMC has clearly clarified that there is no cause of concern, and also all emergency units there are very much in place to take care of any untoward incident. But as things stand, the BMC or the Mumbai Municipal Corporation making it very clear that there is no cause of concern and no real cause to panic among the citizens of Mumbai. Moving ahead, Union Minister Babul Supriyo was heckled by a section of students at the Jadavpur University, following which the West Bengal governor, who is also the chancellor of the Jadavpur University, arrived at the scene and managed to rescue Babul Supriyo. Later in a tweet, Supriyo said, and I quote, "Governor spoke to the Vice Chancellor of Jadavpur University and indicated to him that it is improper for him not to have taken prompt steps in the matter that can lead to unwholesome results." This is a very serious reflection on the law and order of the state. Make in India, the flagship program for bringing capital investments in the country, has proven its caliber in providing quality products to the country. Mazgaon Dock Shipbuilders Limited remains the country's trusted supplier of submarines, with its second Scorpene submarine inducted to the Indian Navy today. The Scorpene class of submarines can undertake multifarious tasks as typically undertaken by any modern submarine, which include anti-surface as well as anti-submarine warfare. With its delivery, India would further cement its position as a submarine building nation. Recognizing the challenges of the future, MDL has completed an extensive modernization program. It is building lots of warfare equipments with the aim to further strengthen up India's defense. Fugitive diamond merchant Nirav Modi was on Thursday further remanded to judicial custody until October 17th by a UK court. He is wanted in India in connection with the nearly $2 billion PNB fraud and money laundering case. Judge David Robinson told Nirav Modi, who is fighting extradition to India, that there was nothing substantial to deal with and that the court was working towards a 5-day extradition trial hearing for May 11 to 15th in 2020. A team of officials from the Enforcement Directorate and CBI were present in court for the brief hearing. It was required under UK law every 28 days pending an extradition trial. Chandrayaan 2 orbiter continues to perform scheduled science experiments to complete satisfaction. In a tweet, ISRO said that all payloads of the orbiter are powered. It is also said that the national level committee consisting of academicians and ISRO experts are analyzing the cause of communication loss with Vikram lander. A book titled A Distinctive Water Management Story, Rajasthan Way, authored by Sriram Vedir, was launched at the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar International Centre in New Delhi on Thursday. The author Sriram Vedir is an advisor in the Ministry of Jal Shakti. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar was also present. Speaking on the occasion, the minister stressed upon the need for water conservation.
हमारा देश दुनिया में केवल 2.5% भूमि है। हमारे पास 17% लोग जनसंख्या है दुनिया की, 20% दुनिया के पशु है, सबको पानी लगता है और दुनिया का केवल 4% फ्रेश रेन वाटर रिसोर्सेस है। उसमें से अच्छी बचत करके और वो इस तरह से पानी का संवर्धन, जल संचय, जनरक्षण और जल का अच्छा उपयोग, ये जब हम करेंगे तब देश समृद्धि के सही मुकाम पर पहुंचेगा। और इसलिए इसके लिए हमने भी फॉरेस्ट में ये करने के लिए 50,000 करोड़ रुपए सभी राज्यों को बांटे हैं और उसमें सबसे ज्यादा पैसा वाटर फॉर ऑगमेंटेशन पर खर्चा होगा। उसी से हम एक सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट की तरफ जाएंगे।
While moving to international stories, the United States has issued visas allowing Iranian President Hassan Rouhani and Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif to travel to New York for the UN General Assembly. The visit comes in the backdrop of US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo saying that the United States was building a coalition to deter Iran after an attack on the Saudi Arabia's oil facilities, but it wanted a peaceful resolution. Speaking to the media after meeting with Abu Dhabi Crown Prince Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed and earlier meeting with Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Pompeo said it was abundantly clear that Iran was behind the attacks. He confirmed that there would be more economic sanctions placed on Iran in the wake of the attacks. Iran, however, has denied the involvement in the attacks and has warned Washington against being dragged into an all-out conflict in the Middle East. Initially, Iran-backed Houthis in Yemen claimed they were responsible for the attacks. The comments came a day after Saudi Arabia unveiled what they claimed to be undeniable evidence that Iran was behind last weekend's attacks. Meanwhile, Russia has urged all countries in the Gulf to sit down for talks to defuse tensions following an attack on Saudi Arabia's oil infrastructure. President Donald Trump named Robert O'Brien his chief hostage negotiator and an established figure in the Republican policy circles as his new national security advisor. O'Brien, the fourth person in 2 years to hold the job, becomes the administration's point person on national security amid rising tensions with Iran following the weekend attack on Saudi oil installations and fresh uncertainty in Afghanistan after the halt in peace talks with the Taliban. The announcement of O'Brien's selection comes a week after Trump ousted John Bolton from the post, citing policy disagreements. Israel's second election in a year has ended in deadlock as no party won enough votes to form a government with majority. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Thursday called on his main rival and former general Benny Gantz to join him in a broad governing coalition after Israel's election ended with no clear winner. Gantz, however, rebuffed the idea, calling it a spin. He said he wanted a unity government, but only one led by him. Gantz stressed that he wants to give a good, desirable unity government. Official figures have not been released, but Gantz's Blue and White Party held 2 seats more than Netanyahu's Liquid Party in the tight race. The Electoral Commission in Israel only released voting figures without declaring a winner. Dangerous flash floods inundated parts of southeastern Texas as tropical depression Imelda dumped the last of its rains, leaving 2 people dead and forcing the rescue or evacuation of at least 1,000 others. National Hurricane Center has predicted rain to a total of 35 inches in some coastal areas, whereas flooding is more serious in north of Houston and to the east, as 3 days of rains in the Houston area has stranded motorists in flooded roads. Boats are used to rescue residents from their houses and trap vehicles in flooded neighborhoods in eastern Houston. Some areas has experienced the worst flooding since Hurricane Harvey submerged Houston 2 years ago, killing more than 60 people. Houston appeared to be spared the worst impacts of Imelda this week, though some city roads were flooded on Thursday. Moving to some sports stories, on day 6 of the World Wrestling Championship, Ravi Kumar Dahiya and Bajrang Punia both lost their respective semi-final matches but secured themselves quota places for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics on Thursday. Bajrang went down against Daulat Niazbekov of Kazakhstan. Bajrang and Niazbekov were 9-9 and needed a tie-break to get a result, where Bajrang lost on the number of cautions. Earlier in the quarterfinals, Punia defeated John Son of North Korea 8-1. Meanwhile, Ravi Kumar lost 4-6 to Zavur Ugev of Russia in the semi-finals in the 57-kilogram freestyle event. Ravi Kumar started with a 11-0 win in the first round and then defeated reigning European champion Arsen Hartuyan of Armenia 17-6 in the quarterfinals. Moving to badminton, reigning world champion and title favorite PV Sindhu crashed out of the China Open Super 1000 tournament after suffering a pre-quarter-final defeat to Thailand's Poranpe Chonchu Wong in the women's singles on Thursday. India's top shuttler Sindhu lost to Thailand's a player in 3 games, 21-12, 13-21, 19-21 in a duel that lasted more than 50 minutes. Meanwhile, in the men's singles, World Championship medalist Sai Parneet booked his place in the quarterfinals of the China Open. Sai defeated Lu Guangzhou of China 21-19, 21-19 in 48 minutes. Well, time now to take a look at the top stories published in the newspapers from the national capital. Our first look is at the Indian Express at the bottom spread. 25 letters to the Prime Minister, 2.4 million oil surveyor Judge Howdy. You know, what began as the 25 letters sent to Prime Minister Narendra Modi in June inviting him to Houston during his US visit has now become a mega event with 2.4 billion collected by prominent Indian American business leaders from 40 major donors and hundreds of small donors to host him at Howdy Modi on Sunday. That's going to be the first on the agenda in the Prime Minister as he takes a week-long tour to the United States. Moving to our next story from the Times of India from the front pages. This is about RWAs, that's the Resident Welfare Associations, and Residents Welfare Associations can no longer block any telecom internet service provider. This is according to a panel that the government is finally initiating steps to address the issue of poor mobile connectivity and slow internet connections in residential areas and public places. So RWs now no longer can strike exclusive deals with telecom internet service providers. They will have to allow the use of infrastructure to all the players, and no rules will apply to any old or new or upcoming residential colonies across India. Changes in building bylaws may be needed to implement this particular decision, and Digital Communication Commission has given the go-ahead to these new rules, and guidelines are likely to be issued to the housing, will be issued by the Housing and Urban Affairs Ministry pretty soon. Our next look is at a story there on a new study there from Tamil Nadu that connects Tamil Nadu with the Indus Valley civilization. The excavation report gives substance to the theory that Tamils may have descended from the Indus Valley civilization as it declined and its people moved south. The findings also provide material evidence to the Sangam period of Tamil literature, considered the golden era of Tamils, and also push the age of the Sangam period back to around 600 BCE, while it previously considered to be between 200 BCE and 400 BCE. Of the more than 15,000 artifacts that are found on that site, So far, none is of religious nature, indicating that the civilization in Kizari on the periphery of Madurai has no interaction with or connection with the Vedic culture. Our final look is at the Mail today, and it talks about 150 cases in the last 3 months in the national capital. It's becoming a hunting ground for cheats hacking into electronic payment interfaces. It's about the danger online fraud link that can empty your account. So how do you guard yourself against this e-fraud is something that is important. You got to set strong passwords as a safeguard against password attack. Ensure your phone is unlocked only through biometrics, pins and patterns, and install a good anti-malware app or an antivirus software in your computers, and also keep unique passwords for payment applications. So don't keep the passwords that are similar to your logging onto your websites to the one that you hold onto your bank accounts. You got to be very careful because it's on an uprise. If you purely look at it in terms of numbers, almost 150 cases in the last 3 months itself in the national capital. Well, after a look at the national dailies, it's time now to take a jog down memory lane, take a look at all the important events that took place on this very day, 20th of September.
On this day in 1878, prominent English language newspaper The Hindu was published for the first time as a weekly newspaper in Chennai. The Hindu had begun publishing as an evening daily. It was founded by law students. This day in year 1911, Pandit Sri Ram Sharma Acharya, spiritual leader and founder of Gayatri Parivar, was born in Agra. On this day in 1970, Russian space probe Luna 16 landed on the moon to collect samples from its surface. It is the first time an unmanned probe had been used to bring objects back to Earth from space. This day in year 2001, in an address to joint session of Congress and the American people, US President George W. Bush declares a war on terror.
Well, after a look at the past, it's time to come back to the present and take a look at the events listed for today.
President of Mongolia Khaltmagan Batulga, who is on 5-day state visit to India, scheduled to be accorded ceremonial reception at the Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman scheduled to chair the 37th GST Council meeting in Goa. The Civil Services Main Exam 2019 conducted by the Union Public Service Commission scheduled to begin. A total of 11,845 candidates have been shortlisted to appear for the UPSC Civil Services Main 2019 examination. The 7th Data Science Summit organized by Data Science Foundation scheduled to take place in Kolkata.
Well, moving to our health segment, physical activity or exercise can improve your health and reduce the risk of developing several diseases like type 2 diabetes, cancer and cardiovascular diseases. Physical activity and exercise can have immediate and long-term health benefits. Most importantly, regular activity can improve your quality of life.
How to attain health is a common question for most people. What is the importance of exercise for our health? To talk about this, we have with us Dr. Sunil M. Raheja. Dr. Raheja, how important is exercise for keeping healthy?
Exercise has got pleiotropic benefits in the body, like it improves your cardiac functions, it improves your respiratory functions, like it's a complete cardiorespiratory workout. Besides this, it improves your circulation in the body, makes your muscles strong, joints strong, feeling of well-being, feeling of self-esteem, good sleep.
What are the exercise one should opt for, and what precautions should be taken during exercise?
The exercise without resistance like walking, jogging, swimming, aerobics, dancing, they involve the long muscles, and that will improve your circulation, our cardiac output, our respiratory functions, and we can achieve our target heart rate, that is 220 minus age 85%. Like whenever you are exercising, when you are having a deep rhythmic breathing with a bit of sweating, you can say that exercise workout is complete. And the second is exercise against distance like dumbbell, kettlebells, push-ups. So these will build our muscles, they keep our muscle mass strong. With that, our joints will also be healthy, and our metabolic rate will also be high. So overall body feels fit. And the most important is yoga these days, which is very popular. Yoga, I say, is the most important because it unites mind, body and spiritual well-being of a person. And certain mudras, postures, relaxation techniques, they really calm your nerves and mind and you will have a good sleep, mood elevation, relaxation, and the complete feeling of well-being, relaxation, and peace of mind.
Thank you, Dr. Raheja, for talking to us. Be cautious towards your health and do find out some time from your hectic schedule for exercising to attain health and maintain health. Kiran Bhardwaj, DD News.
Well, 2 minutes that you need to give to your health, and it could be a big blessing in disguise for each and every one of us. Moving ahead to our good news segment, the movement against single-use plastic is fast gaining momentum across the country in response to Prime Minister Modi's call to ban the menace. Plastic waste, which is not biodegradable, is one of the biggest polluters of the environment. Schools and the general public are coming up with innovative ways to change mindsets and create awareness. A report from a Dharwad village in Karnataka.
Society's participation in the movement to eradicate single-use plastic is fast gaining momentum. In Dharwad district in Anchatagre village, a unique awareness campaign against plastic use is underway. Initiated by Anchatagre village Panchayat President Basavaraj Badnal, it is aimed at spreading awareness about the dangers of plastic and stopping people from using it. Badnal has asked children of the government high primary school to collect plastic bottles and bags as they come for their classes, and they are given 1 rupee as a reward. As such, children carry either 2 or 3 waste plastic bottles every day. This has helped in cleaning up solid plastic waste in the village.
हमें हर बोतल के 1 रुपए मिलते हैं और इससे अपनी स्टेशनरी खरीदने के पैसे भी जोड़ लेते हैं हम लोग।
हम बच्चों को प्लास्टिक के बुरे प्रभाव के बारे में समझाते हैं। प्लास्टिक के कई दुष्प्रभाव हमारे बच्चों पर पड़ते हैं, यहाँ तक कि कैंसर भी हो सकता है।
Plastic waste thus collected is carried in Swachhta vehicles and sold outside to a recycling unit. The money obtained from that and also 4,000 rupees honorarium that the village president gets every month is used to provide various incentives for the children.
स्कूल के साथ साथ अब कॉलेज भी इस अभियान में शामिल हो रहे हैं। हमने इनकी रिसाइकिलिंग का फैसला किया है और तमिलनाडु की एक कंपनी से बात भी कर ली है।
ये बच्चे अब पानी पीने के लिए स्टील बॉटल्स का इस्तेमाल करते हैं, ना कि प्लास्टिक की बोतलों का।
The unique 1 rupee for a bottle scheme has transformed Anchatagre village in Karnataka, a model which can be emulated by all. For Good News India, with Bureau Inputs, DD News.
Well, time now to take a look at the weather in your city. Well, before we end this edition of Breakfast Show, we leave you with a positive thought to kickstart your day. Hope. Sometimes that's all you have when you have nothing else. If you have it, you have everything. Our image of the day, glimpses of kayakers braving uncharted Patagonian rapids in Chile. Take a look, smile, stay healthy and happy. Have a safe and wonderful weekend ahead. Bye-bye.